Okay, here's the first example of I did this. I did taping. It's too weak, so I had to support it and strengthen it so I could hold it without it breaking because it's very fragile. And ultimately, well, I mean, the connection area is very fragile. This piece of wood is actually not so terribly fragile. It's still pretty solid and strong. But I'm going to show you that this is just a piece of wood that is basically a knife. It's a weapon that is used like this, and this would be to stab you with. Now, understand that if you look closely, what I see here is different from what you're going to see, because what I see is profound wow, and what you probably see is a stick that's pointed. But I want you to look closer and understand some of you will actually be gifted enough to actually spy on this without learning, but you have to take 2 months of looking at these things before you actually have any actual skill. And this blade has been really extensively worked by somebody. So somebody from 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, I don't know exactly the date, but this is an example of what I find every time I go out. And this would be basically a weapon to hit somebody on the head, hit somebody with. It's a rock. It's a rock that's been carved, and you could see. I colored the eye. It was already there. I just made it darker so you could see it, but that's where the eye was. I just went right over it, so I didn't change its appearance any. And this is a bird. See the bird's beak? See the beak? Literally the beak. See where you could still see the artwork. And like I said, see, I could see. See, I'm going to say you're blind right now, but what I see is I see what it looked like when it was brand new. It's a lot better than what it looks like to you. But understand, when you start to see this stuff, by practicing, well, yeah, give it 2 months of going out and looking every day, and mark the fact that I want you to look at this. Look at this. This blade has been carved. It was artwork too. There's artwork on there. And I'm not going to go into detail about it. I could, but it would just be boring to you because you can't even see it. I can see it. But so what I want you to know is that I see something in this blade. This is wood that's been carved into, literally carved. They literally carved this. It was like, it took them a long time. And it's also artwork on it. If you see, it's also, yeah, it's also a fish or a shark made with the mouth here. See if there's a mouth there, and understand that somebody carved this to be artwork. They carved it to kill with, and so that they could hit with it and stab with it, and it would have been very effective killing weapon. These are all over the hills, and understand when you. Here's the back side of it. Here's the back. See, it's painted. That's the original paint. And I haven't cleaned it up all the way. I mean, this is not even cleaned up, really. I just repaired it and put the tape and the barbed wire on there, or the copper wire, to make it strong. And it basically, you're gonna find this stuff all over the place. So here's just one example, and we'll go on to the next example. Okay, these are sticks I picked up. So I'm just going to show you sticks. What you're going to see is just sticks. So understand that if I'm all excited, you're going to wonder, why is he so excited? He's showing me sticks, but he thinks they're holy grails. Well, they are holy grails. Well, understand, when you actually see in a while, when you see, this is from an ancient caveman or old Indian. This is the handle. It's got extensive artwork on it, which I can see. You probably can't see. But there's literally extensive artwork there, which is really hard to see. Like I said, what I'm going to tell you is you're blind. But I'm going to tell you there's extensive artwork, which is so obvious to me. And I'm not going to go into it because I could tell you all about it. Understand, this thing is literally was a weapon. And on here was a piece that was for the stone that was held on it. And this could be used for stabbing, and it would have been, it's broken a little bit, but this used to be a stabbing piece. So when you hit with it like this, with the stone on it, you could also stab with it too, like this. You could stab with it or hit with it. And there's still some of the original. Do you see the original binding they used? The original binding is still on it. The stone's missing. I just got the stuff. I haven't at all even. It looks like they put, see the thorn there they put there? So it could have been a wood that was on here, a wood piece actually. I haven't even, I mean, this is just off the field yesterday and I haven't even cleaned it. So I'm just show you some pieces of wood. Now we're looking at wood. These are all things that were on the field that I found the other day, yesterday, that are absolutely something. This is the handle of a weapon that's also been carved into an ornate carving. This is an animal's head. But understand, like I said again, if you think this is just a stick, well, to me, this is a holy grail. Because what this was is very important. Well, it was part of a weapon that was very important and also carved into extensive artwork. So what I see here, see the hat? See the hat? This is the hat. Do you see the eye? Do you see? Yeah, like it's broken, it's old, but this is very heavy wood, strong, and there used to be an attachment. It also broke off here. So who knows truly what this was used for? It could have been an art piece itself. I'm just going to go through this kind of quickly. Here is another weapon that was on the field. What this is just looking like, this is right. This used to be a stabbing end. It broke off. So there used to be a pointed end here so you could stab with it. Yeah, it would have been held like this, so you could stab with it. It was also a weapon. This would have been longer, probably about to here. It broke. And then, of course, these were both longer. And you would have been able to charge somebody and literally ram into them with this thing. And you could even put it on the end of a long pole. And this would have been a trident, a kind of trident. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Here's a very extensive piece of awesomeness, which I found. This is a treasure. Understand, this is a weapon handle that was worked extensively. And understand, see these two flaps right here? These two flaps, well, it held a stone. I'm going to show you, I found a similar stone that it probably held something similar to this. And it would have been kept in it like this. And so you could see it from back here. And then they would have used a binding to go around it like this. So it would have been tied up here. So you'd see like it would have been wrapped and bound so the two were pulled together. And then understand, this was a brutal, awesome, powerful weapon, which probably looks something like this. Understand, this was longer, and it was also, this would have been used for stabbing. So you could stab someone with it and hit them with it. So you could hit them with it and then also stab them with it. And also, it wouldn't come out of your hand either. You could swing it hard, really hard, and it's not going to slip out of your hand. So basically, this was a really awesome weapon. You see this top? This used to be a lot longer. This was a spike, yeah, it was a dagger, which meant that you could. This was made to do three things. You could see and understand. This is brutal awesomeness. So this was laying on the ground yesterday. It's just a stick, right? No, this is an artifact. And now this piece is not the piece that was on it. I don't know what piece was on it, but this is very similar to what it was because it's basically a large flat stone like this, and it would have been used in three manners, which meant that someone used a lot of thought when they did this. Whoever the warrior was thinking, I want to be able to rage on somebody, so they would have swung it on you. And understand that the length like this, it has a lot of length, a lot of reaching out length. You can go on, hit someone on the top of the head. So this would have probably been used to pound someone on the top of the head or the side of the face or shoulders. And understand at the same time, when you carried your swing over, then you could stab them. So whoever was thinking, someone put a lot of thought into this weapon. Understand that first you swung it, right? You swung it on your enemy, and then when it came down, you slam into him, you stab into him. So if you miss, you could still stab into him. So this warrior was very smart by putting a spike up here in case he missed him or they deflected the blow. He'd already have it down like this. If, let's say, it got deflected and it bounced off and now it's at this angle, he just goes like this, which meant that this is a very smart, able warrior that put the spike on the top with this such a large reach like this. And he sharpened this end right here, so this end would have been probably longer and it would have stuck out. So when he swung and went like this, he could then do this. So understand, do you think I'm kidding? What I'm saying is that clearly the warrior that made this, I'm telling you exactly how he made it and what he thought. He thought, I'm going to hit him. I'm going to be, if it deflects or it comes off, I'm going to be in line to stab him and then bam, and then hit him again, which means this was a brutal warrior who was ready to fight like man, he was ready to fight like he's gonna fight like, wow, like bam, bam, bam. Like he could hit you 3 times in less than just a couple seconds. He could, and understand, if he makes contact with the first hit, he could just hit again. But if it misses, well, he's already in line. And then bam. If this isn't working, and bam, just come up like this. It's just a swim. So you're right in the gut, man. It's to the top of the head, in the chest, right to the, and then upper, right to the gut. And this is whoever made this actually designed this weapon so that it could be used to attack three times in one melee round. Basically, in one melee round, bam, bam, bam. It's just nuts. I love it. But yeah, sorry, I can't believe this, because understand, there's stories. It's not that the weapons are great. I don't like weapons. I'm not Mr. wanting to kill people. I understand that certainly I'm Aries, so yeah, just think of the God of War when you think of me, and then I won't be like all proud of it. Maybe, yeah, because I'll be able to be careful, because I might want to be. But I understand that, yeah. I was the kid that played soldier with the sticks. I was the guy who joined the army at 18 to be the man. I was the one who always wanted to find out how to kill everybody with 90 different, like, I was just egotistical kind of manliness, you know. Doesn't have her? Well, I do have her now. And understand, I'm not the one to want to kill anything. It's just a matter of that weapons are what you find. And I've got artwork too. I'm going to show you that next.